Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Bullet on Fire 12 and welcome to some Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now, seeing as we know that Sledgehammer Games are making the new Call of Duty game for this year, and we know it's not going to be futuristic, I thought we could go back to Advanced Warfare for a second and do some reflections on some of the things that Sledgehammer Games did with the game. Now in this video I'm going to talk about two things. I'm going to talk about one thing that I feel that Sledgehammer Games did absolutely right and spot on with the game, and I'm also going to do the opposite as well. I'm also going to talk about one thing that I feel like they got absolutely wrong with the game. Now of course I could just list many different options when talking about these sorts of things, but I've kind of already done it in the past with my review video, so I don't really want to list loads of different things. Really, I just want to focus on one thing that they did absolutely right and one thing that they did absolutely wrong. Now of course these are my opinions, and if you've got any other things that you want to add on to my opinions, or if you've got something completely different that you feel is better to what I'm about to say in this video, please leave it down in the comment section below. I'd love to read your thoughts and opinions. But without further ado, let's begin with what I think Sledgehammer Games did absolutely right with Advanced Warfare. And I think Sledgehammer Games did a really good job supporting their game after their life cycle had ended. Now, it's always the same. A Call of Duty game has its year where it's the current COD, and then the next one comes out a year later. Now usually, not many of the developers actually do stuff with their game after the next one comes out. They're usually busy working on their next game for the following year, or following 2 years now, seeing as it's 3 developers that we have making Call of Duty games each year. Usually you might have a double XP weekend on an old COD every so often, but with Advanced Warfare, Sledgehammer Games really changed that. Of course there were double XP weekends, which was really good. It's nice to see that they still give those types of things out to people that don't want to play like the current COD. They still have that option on previous ones. But as well as the double XP weekends, they added in a lot more weapons to the game when Black Ops 3 was the current COD, and a lot more customization as well. Now I do know that they're not the first developer to do that. To be fair, Treyarch was the first developer to do that. During the Ghost's life cycle, I do know that Treyarch added in a lot of extra camos to Black Ops 2 when Ghost was the current COD. I believe that's all they did do. I'm not sure if they did anything else, but I know that Treyarch was the first developer to add some extra content into one of their past games when it wasn't the current COD. But however, with Black Ops 3, now that Infinite Warfare is out, what I do know is, I believe they have added in some new weapons into Black Ops 3, and I think, quote me if I'm wrong, but I think they've actually added in a new zombie map as well. It's nice to see that these developers are adding in a lot more content to their past games for those people that don't want to play like the new one. It's good to see that. To be honest, this is something that should have happened a long time ago anyway, not just double XP weekends. They're adding in a lot more now, which is really nice to see that sort of thing. Now that's the thing that I think that Sledgehammer Games have done really well at with Advanced Warfare. But I think there's also something else that they've also done really badly at as well. Now you might think I'm about to say the weapon balancing for Advanced Warfare, because that was pretty awful. The Bal 27 and the ASM1 were just so dominant in that game. But that's not what I think is the worst thing about Advanced Warfare. I think that Sledgehammer Games have done something even worse with the game. And it has to go to one thing and one thing only. In my mind, it's clear. It has to go to supply drops. Now, I know that supply drops were good to start with. They were just something that you would earn in-game every, 45 minutes or so. But then they had to introduce advanced supply drops. Now again, it was nice earning them every so often when you would hit a certain level. I do think it's still a little bit iffy though, because I think you should have got it every 10 levels. And really, if you just prestiged, you wouldn't get it until level 20, 30 and 40. I still think you should have got one at 50 as well, but that's just the way they did it. But that's not the worst part. The worst part was how much money was spent on advanced supply drops during Advanced Warfare's life cycle. They made way more money than the actual game sales just through the advanced supply drop sales. And then of course, This led Activision to realise how much money they could make from supply drops, and now they are in every single Call of Duty game going forward. People weren't happy about the fact that they were going to be put into Black Ops 3, but they said to us, it's fine, just cosmetic only, there's no weapons or anything, because people did not like the idea of how you could just pay all this money to get really good weapon variants, and some people can't afford them. So you could have like higher chances of getting these weapons over other people. But then of course, the supply drops weren't really a big success in Black Ops 3, so what did they do? They put weapons in the game. And I'm sure it's the same with Infinite Warfare as well. And a lot of people were definitely disappointed when they announced they were going to put it into Modern Warfare Remastered as well. And unfortunately, weapons have been added into those supply drops now. And I'm sure there are people who are playing Modern Warfare Remastered who aren't happy with this decision to put weapons in the supply drops in Modern Warfare Remastered. I think it's ridiculous and stupid. Sure, it adds new content, but it's just an endless cycle now where this happens all the time. Supply drops have just really ruined the COD franchise, in my opinion. Unfortunately, there isn't much we can do about supply drops. They're just an annoyance now, and I do feel like we are just going to see this all the time in Call of Duty. But that is what I think Sledgehammer did absolutely right with the game, and also what I think they've done absolutely wrong with the game. But that's where I'm going to wrap up this video now. If you have any other thoughts and opinions to what I've said, or if you think of something completely different, leave it down in the comment section below. I'd love to read what you guys have to say. And I'm going to end off this video now, so thank you all for watching this video. If you've liked it, remember to leave a like rating and subscribe if you are new. But for now, it is goodbye from me. But I shall see all of you guys very soon with my next video. So take care guys, and goodbye.